Hello chess fans, we're back with another rapid chess video against my friend who has much improved since the last video. You can see in the information bar. And so now he is 1783. So this video is going to be how masters beat intermediate players. So my opponent is not that weak and I know most of what he knows. So let's defend the pawn. And I'm going to try to explain this as simply as possible so that everyone can understand. So we see knight c3. So I'm just going to copy him. I'm just going to develop right now, and I don't know what move we'll see. He might see bishop b5, might see d4. I'm not sure what he'll play. I didn't really teach him this. Okay, we see bishop b5. So bishop b5 is a pretty good move. And there's a lot of things you can do here. You can play knight d4, but maybe simplest is just develop your pieces. So bishop c5 makes sense to me. And I don't really put it past my opponent to go like takes, and takes here. Okay, he goes takes there immediately, which, okay, I can just take back. And he has center fork trick, which is true. But I'm trying to remember how this line goes. I think I should go bishop b4. Because after takes, I would have takes here. Or have I already messed this up? Am I supposed to go knight d4 here? I can't really remember. Okay, but let's just pretend we're outside of theory. So bishop d6 makes some sense. And after takes, I mean, positions roughly around equal. Probably. So maybe there's something else. Like bishop b4 makes sense to me. I'm really not familiar with this position, but yeah, bishop b4 makes a lot of sense to me. If takes, I take here. The only thing I'm worried about is queen g4. Yeah, it doesn't look so clear. So maybe I go bishop d6. I assume he just takes. He could go f4, which, okay, I didn't expect him to do. So bishop takes e5. And now I assume he castles. I castle, and we have a pretty simple position. Okay, castles. Let's castle. So far, so good. My opponent's played pretty well. And I think we have a pretty reasonable position for both sides. I probably want to go c6, queen b6 in the case of that move. Okay, he goes queen f3. I don't really like the move. I don't think it's, to be honest, necessary, but okay. It's not a terrible move, I don't think. So I'm thinking that if here, bishop d4, d5 takes here, bishop g4 could just win the game. I'm thinking that's how the game could end. Very much could end like that. And if he goes like bishop g5, I can go like here. He goes knight e2, and I go here. So let's go c6. Attacking the bishop. I expect bishop d3. Bishop c4 could be played, I guess. Could be played. Don't really expect it. Oh, okay, maybe, yeah, maybe bishop c4 is a better move. To be honest, maybe it is. So I'm thinking about takes, and then just taking here. Because after here, I can center fork trick him right back. And then we just play the position where I have slightly better structure, but opposite colored bishops. And I think that should be decently instructive, like takes here. The problem is if he goes like rook e1. Sorry, rook d1. If I go d5, then he probably just has to move back, right? Okay, I don't want to spend too long on this, to be honest. I'm also thinking about like b4, b5, bishop b3, b5. And it's very considerable, to be honest, but I think far from very conclusive. d6 also comes to mind with the threat of going here, and then b4, maybe b5. I kind of really want to make this work. It looks strong. Takes, queen takes back, d5. I assume that's what will happen, and then takes here. Maybe bishop e6. I don't want to get too low on time, so let's just go for d6. I'm kind of committing myself to taking here, but I think it's fine. So yeah, so far my opponent's played very good. They haven't made any blunders yet. And okay, bishop f4. So let's just continue our development, I guess. Bishop g4, I assume, is the right move. I could also even take pawn takes, and now go here. And after here, go here. Okay, a lot of moves here. I could go bishop g4 to develop first. Queen moves out of the way. And then think about takes here, and after takes, I'm not sure, actually. Could also go like queen b6. Simple move. If takes, I mean, slightly better there probably. And I'm also threatening here. If here, I could go like here, threatening this pawn from far away, also threatening the knight. So let's go queen b6, threatening to take this pawn. So we'll see what our opponent does. I don't expect anything too crazy here. Seems like a fairly normal position, and I think my opponent played this quite well. So now, next thing I got to do is probably use my clock as a weapon. So I'm down a little bit on time, so maybe get up a little bit on time, and I will be able to have a better position. So rook b1 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. So thinking immediately queen c5 just to attack this bishop. Looks reasonable, and if the bishop moves, I'm immediately threatening to win this knight. So, okay, yeah, let's go queen c5, and I kind of want to go a little bit quicker. If here I would win this pawn. Oh, actually, no, I don't. Don't win the pawn. Okay, yeah, I don't win the pawn, but still probably a decent position for me. Okay, so let's just take this back. Queen has more escape squares now. And our position is kind of boring here. So let's go bishop g4, just developing. Queen e3, I might just take it and play the endgame, because the endgame is better for me. And I don't think we should really be scared of better endgames, just because they're endgames. Sometimes you have to play the position you get. Okay, we see there. So he's putting some pressure on this pawn, so no need to address that quite yet. Just get the queen on the open file. No threats to the position just yet, kind of just a quiet position, and I think my opponent's played this well. So yeah, I can think about going like here to put pressure here. Let's go bishop h5 here. The only thing I'm worried about is my bishop just not being in the game, so maybe I should have gone like bishop here. It's possible. I think though this is annoying for my opponent as well, because okay, this bishop is doing a very good job now. Okay, he goes there. Let's go rook d2, I assume. Just trying to make sure this move makes some sense. And so yeah, I think it does make a lot of sense. And then go rook d8, follow it up, and yeah, position should be fairly good. And go rook d8. I mean, my development's great. My position makes a lot of sense. So should be a nice position. Okay, he goes there, kind of forcing me to play here. And then he wants to go f3, I assume. Could take. And then once he takes back, I could go here. Problem is my bishop's kind of out of play after f3. And yeah, I'm not really making any progress there, am I? Now, if I move away queen d6, does he have here? It's a very good move, to be honest. Okay, let's take it. Let's see how he takes. He takes with the rook. So let's go rook d8. My opponent's played this like very well so far. So I assume f3. I'm gonna go king f8, and we're gonna have to try to win the king pawn endgame, I guess. So yeah, very surprisingly well played by my opponent, but I notice he always plays like a very good game against me. Okay, that I think is the first move I would cannot consider to be very good, because I think it just weakens his position slightly. But it's not a blunder by any means. So now I want to go here. I want to go king f8. And I assume a move like g4 or some positional mistake will be made soon. Now king f8, just looking to get the king in the center and get the king out of this pin. Rook e2. Okay, I don't really care right now that you played that move, so I'm going to go here. Because I can just take back. So I'm not too worried, and I assume he'll take here. I don't think he'll play g5, because g5 is the best move. And okay, also I'm kind of low on time, so got to keep that in mind. Yeah, okay, he takes, which means I got to take back. Maybe here knight c5 ideas. I'm not sure how he takes. Clearly taking with the pawn is a mistake, but yeah, we'll see what he does. Here, f6, takes, and then rook d1. Okay, he goes there, which just blunders a pawn. I can just take and then take here. But yeah, extremely well played game by my opponent other than that, to be honest. Like, not a lot of mistakes that I could could have taken advantage of. So now let's just, which pawn to pick up? Probably this one, because it's closer to the center. And we'll see what he does here. I think knight e3 makes some sense. Knight c3 makes sense. I would go here on knight c3 and then follow it up by knight d5. So yeah, I mean, excellently played by my opponent so far. Okay, he goes there. Now knight d5 seems to make the most sense, so I think I'll just go for it. Yeah, I don't think there's any f3 blunders, because I would just even take here. Okay, let's go here. If we trade the bishops, I'm up a pawn, and okay. So now we're gonna win the endgame up a pawn. So now I want to go f5. Exchange this, and yeah, I mean, my opponent has put very, very good pressure on me so far in the game. d4 makes a lot of sense here because I want to go e4. So yeah, king f3 is clearly, I think, a pretty large mistake, but I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. Let's go here, bring the king closer, and yeah, the idea is just not to allow any counterplay. And okay, I think after here he can't move any of his pawns over there, so he moves the king, I go king here. If he goes there, I go here, and now just push this guy till we trade it, or now he can't catch me here. So yeah, I mean, honestly, excellently played, but sometimes you gotta win the way you gotta win, and here he has a4 and then mate on g2. So yeah, I think a pretty instructive game. At some point, your opponent will make a mistake. Like, at some point, they will make a mistake. How good do I think I played this game? I think I played it okay. I don't think I played it particularly well, but yeah, sometimes you don't have to play particularly well to get anything done. And yeah, okay, so let's see. I made one inaccuracy. Knight d5 was an inaccuracy. The rest of the game was very, very, very equal. So we'll see, because I don't think he made any mistakes, to be honest. Like, it seems very, very sort of well played by my opponent. So, oof, opponent played 33 center pawn. So yeah, you won't really see a player of this caliber playing so good. Yeah, in the opening, very, very good opening by my opponent. I never taught my opponent this, so I'm surprised they played it. Knight takes c5 is definitely a good move. And yeah, was I right about bishop b4? Takes here, and then queen here? No, because I have here. Ah, and the idea is I can take the bishop. I know this is losing without the bishop on that square. Okay, so a6 is also a move. I've never played against this before, so I didn't know that. Okay, e takes f6, queen takes f6, and here black's better. So I guess I should know there. So he should go bishop e2, and after here, isn't bishop e2 helpful for him? Why is the bishop bad on b5? I mean, okay, sure. I think bishop d6 is a better move. And here maybe you should go f4, in which case, yeah, I know I have to go knight c6, and after here bishop e4. And this is a very, very interesting position, I believe. I think after takes a3, I don't know. You don't take here, you go bishop a5. I don't know, d5 here looks interesting, because if takes, I mean, bishop d2 wins, so castles. Wow, interesting move, because if takes here. So what am I supposed to do here? Knight e7, and then bishop d2, and yeah, it doesn't look that good. So maybe a line to look into for white. So, but after d takes e5, bishop takes e5, castles, queen f3. Yeah, doesn't really make much sense because it blunders a piece. I went c6, bishop c4, and yeah, here I was thinking about b5, but after bishop d3, I didn't see what to do. b4. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So bishop f4, not necessarily a mistake, but not really a move that makes a ton of sense. d6 being an inaccuracy. Okay, sure. The engine says I should have gone for this. I did not like the look of this. It looks like a draw, and the engine thinks that's what should happen. Chess is just a draw at the end of the day. So d6 keeps some piece on the board. Queen b6. I think a move that makes a lot of sense. Engine liked queen c5 for a second, but now likes bishop g4, and I went queen c5. Decent move as well. I don't think he should have taken. I think bishop d3, and I didn't really think my position was all that great here. This is that good for me. Knight takes a4, here knight e6, and this is pretty good for black apparently. Okay, good to know, to be honest. Okay, so after d takes, I'm slightly better, and this is the type of position you're going to get against lower rated players sometimes. It's just you're slightly better, and it's hard to put the finishing touches, so immediately I tried to get active. Here I wasn't opposed to the queen trade because I got more active. g4, he weakened his position. Again, clearly here you should try to go f3. I think f3, rook d1 after rook e1 is the easiest path, and let's see what the engine says I should do here. King f8, rook e1 is his idea to go here. Knight d7, let's say he just goes here. Knight c5, I mean, yeah, I guess you can never really get rid of me, but even something like this, knight takes b3, and then you win a pawn. So yeah, I guess that's the best way to continue, and yeah, he has no way. So g4 also creates weaknesses here. King f8, here h5, takes, and I mean, clearly here he should probably go for g5, and then this pawn's weak. For example, after rook d1, I think that he loses the pawn in any case, so he'd have to go, I don't know what he would do here. I thought f3 and then knight c5, and I thought this position was pretty good for him after here, though. I just missed this move. Yeah, so it was actually really good for me here. And then this was knight c4. Ooh. Yeah, and then you have here knight c4, f6, and then knight d6 with the fork. Yeah, I completely missed that. That could have been catastrophic. But yeah, clearly here I have to take this pawn. It's just with what? So knight takes is better because I have knight c5 right after. Okay, yeah, so I think a pretty, very, very clean game. Again, it's not so difficult to play well against opponents who are severely under your rating. I think that while it may look like I played a very good game, against a player of the same level as me, I would play much worse, and against a player much higher than me, I would play even worse than that, and they probably could get 13 cent upon, and I would get like, I don't know, like 40 something. So yeah, don't think that I played this amazing of a game. I think I explained my moves pretty well, and I tried to play moves that would make sense to everyone. Notice that, okay, we got center fork tricked. I thought I was in trouble. I didn't like my position. And yeah, then I just slowly started getting more active and bring it in. And yeah, don't be afraid of e5. Again, most cases, don't get center fork tricked. Do not get center fork tricked. This is the exception because the bishop's on b5, and the bishop's not very good on b5. So in the center fork trick, because I'm going to castle, and what's the bishop doing on b5 without the knight? So yeah, that's it in today's video, guys. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.